Anxiety and ADHD often go hand in hand. I've not really met anyone that has ADHD and doesn't unfortunately suffer with anxiety in some capacity. It can be social anxiety, health anxiety, work anxiety, which shows up in overworking, overproductivity. And so it's just recognizing that, seeing it for what it is without judgment, and noticing where that anxiety shows up and being, okay, I can see it for what it is. Understanding that we've got ADHD, which means our brain is going non-stop, we've got hyperactive brains, we're thinking about lots of things, which in other circumstances can be fantastic. We're often problem solvers, we're resourceful, we're big picture thinkers, we can create businesses, we can move very quickly on projects that other people might sort of really struggle with. So we've got this balance of a very quick thinking, fast-paced brain, which can be incredibly helpful, but also very difficult, especially if anxiety kicks in at night or we're prone to panic attacks. And it's just recognizing. Now, there are different ways we can treat anxiety. You can go through the medication route, which I know can be very helpful for people if we're managing the ADHD as well. So sometimes if we are taking ADHD medication, that reduces the anxiety, and we don't need to be on the anxiety medication because it's almost like a sticking plaster, and the medication for ADHD can often settle our brains and calm us down, and we can feel less anxious because of that. From a holistic perspective, from a well-being perspective, we know that moving our body, getting outside, daily exercise in whatever capacity that is, that can be incredibly helpful in reducing anxiety. So we need to start taking a bit of an inventory of our day. When do you notice anxiety creeping up? Do you notice if you've had too much caffeine, that you've not eaten properly throughout the day? Does your ADHD medication induce anxiety? Is the stimulant you're on not quite working, and do you need to tweak it? Perhaps it's due to lots of sugar, processed food, alcohol. It's seeing this from a very sort of functional, big picture, interconnected perspective of saying, right, when do I notice the anxiety show up? Now, if you're a parent and you've got children, there's a very high chance that you will be hypervigilant, and our nervous systems will be almost set for being in this anxious state. And being in this anxious state is typically called the sympathetic state of our nervous system, which just means that we are constantly activated, we're mobilized, we are ready for fight or flight, and our body doesn't know how to relax, it doesn't know how to settle, and that will just be sort of this permanent anxious state, which perhaps gets lots of jobs done and makes us very productive, but we will be very sort of overstimulated, and we will feel maybe palpitations, racing heart, we'll have gut issues, IBS, sleep problems, and it's just saying, okay, maybe this is not right, this is not good for my health anymore. And as an aside, we also know that cardiovascular problems, now there's new research showing that cardiovascular problems do show up very prominently in ADHD, which is down to lots of different issues, but it can be to do with the fact that we live in this permanent state of stress and anxiety, which is not good for heart health. So now we need to recognise, okay, what can I do for stress reduction? What can I do to help my body, my mind, my soul find this rest, find this state of being more in a parasympathetic nervous system, which is more the rest and digest. We're in relaxation mode, we are not racing about, and we can start being more open to being in that state and fluctuate. Remember, we've got those dials. Can we turn the dials up and start bringing in more ways of being in that parasympathetic state?